Artists are treating their music like a side chick, and that's the problem. That's the problem going on here. I see it all the time. Y'all artists wonder why y'all falling out of love with your passion. Why you no longer have the love to make music. Because you've been treating it like a side chick. You've been treating it like a side bitch. And I'm gonna elaborate on that. When they say married to the game, that means you're married to the game. That means that the craft that you fell in love with, you need to treat that shit like a real fucking relationship. But instead, you out here treating it like a side bitch. Feel inspired. Let me go get my nut off real quick. Write a verse. Boom. Never go back to it. Sure, you're looking bad. Damn, let me get my nut off. Boom. Never go back to it. That's exactly how you're treating your music right now. And I'm going to equate it to an actual relationship when you meet a shorty, right? You know, when you first start doing music, you're in love with it. You're writing your raps. It feels great. Damn, I want to do this for a living. I want to fucking pursue music. I feel amazing. I love making music. Same way you fell in love with that shorty. The same way that shorty and you were connecting like crazy. You thought you had some wild chemistry. But then time progresses. The same way it does when you're making music. And it comes to a point after time progresses where you're not getting what you thought you initially would get out of this particular relationship. I didn't get the fame. I didn't get the money. I'm still not making bread off my music. And equate that to whatever type of dynamic you want within a relationship, but it's very fucking similar. But you know what happens though? You need to water that shit. Water that relationship. You cannot expect to continue to be in love with music if you're not watering it. You cannot expect to continue to love your passion if you are not doing the proper things to make sure you're staying in love with your passion. Now, what does that mean exactly? What does that mean? Well, for instance, if you do music, how about you listen to fucking music? How about you look for new artists? Look for ways to get inspired. We're living in an era right now with cell phones that can show us people from around the fucking globe and all of their art. Look for some shit to get inspired by. And I'm gonna tell you another cheat code. Another real fucking cheat code to this shit. Go to shows. Go to shows. Pop out, find out who's doing a fucking open mic. Find out who's doing a showcase. And actually get up off your ass and go to that shit. And look, if you got a family, I get it. If you got a fucking 9-to-5 job, I get it. But this is what makes it even all the more important for you to continue to water that craft. Because if not, what's the alternative? You're going to stop fucking doing it? And all you have is you reminiscing on the time where you used to do music? Where I used to be mad nice. Let me play you some songs from 2 years ago. Damn, this shit was fire. I was nice with it. Let me put a fucking story up on my Instagram about a song I made that no one fucking gives a shit about because you stopped, because you was not watering your fucking craft. Because you were treating her like a side bitch. You're treating her like a side bitch. Only going to her when you get that inspiration. Real inspiration you make. You create that shit. You can't fucking just sit around and wait for it. You can't. You need to go out and you need to water that relationship. You can't expect to just continue to be in love with your passion, man. There's this narrative that, there's this narrative that just because you found something you love, you're going to continue to be in love with it. That's absolutely not the fucking case, man. Especially as you get older. As you get older, man, if you over 30, this message should even hit you a little bit harder, man, because it gets significantly more difficult when you have more responsibilities on your plate to pursue the shit that you fucking love. It gets significantly more difficult. But no matter how difficult it may get, you need to prioritize this shit that you initially fell in love with. Well, the alternative is you stop falling in love with it. The alternative is you're reminiscing on it all the fucking time. Music is a relationship. This shit is a fucking relationship. When they say married to the game, that's what they fucking mean. You're married to the game, yo. In sickness and in health. When times are dark, when times are bright, you are married to that shit. You figure out a motherfucking way. You figure out a way. You figure out a way. If you're really in love with this shit, you're gonna figure out a fucking way, but you need to water it. You need to water it. You need to keep it watered. You need to make sure that, again, equating it to an actual relationship. If you're married, you've been married for quite some time, you gotta go out on dates. You gotta make sure that romance is still there. If you're a musician, you gotta go and treat it the same fucking way. Again, go to fucking shows. Find ways to get inspired. Actually pick up a pen and write a fucking verse. These are ways in which you continue to water that relationship. Because if you do not, you're going to end up falling out of love with it. And what's going to happen is you're going to be stuck. And you're going to just have nothing but memories at a time where you loved something, but you're no longer pursuing it. So all it just is just you reminiscing. You don't want to be that person, you know? Like, comment, and subscribe, yo. Mel Mags. Hope you have a blessed night. Hope you have a great night. Please subscribe, man. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm going to get to 300 subscribers by the end of the month. It's about 14 days to that. Please subscribe to my channel. You can be a part of that promise that I'm making to myself. Stay up. Stay blessed. Have a good night.